Good evening, everyone. It's Paul Redmond here. I'm Head of Careers and Employability at the University of Liverpool. It's great to have a chance to speak to you this evening. I'm going to run through a brief presentation looking at the graduate job market. I'm going to look at what it's like to be a graduate in today's job market, what sort of things employers look for from our graduates. I'm then going to look at what it takes to get a graduate job. So I've got some interesting research and data that I want to feed back to you this evening. And then finally, I'm going to conclude after about 20 minutes with my top 5 tips for graduate employability in today's job market. So I hope you find it useful. We've got lots of information, lots of data at Liverpool all about the graduate job market, and we've got great contacts with leading national and international recruiters. So no matter what sort of subject you want to study at Liverpool, no matter what sort of career or profession you want to go into, hopefully what you're about to hear will be useful. At the end of this presentation, as I said, it's only for about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. At the end, we've then got a question and answer routine whereby you can send in questions, and I'll try my best to answer them online. So again, I hope you found it useful, and good luck in whatever you choose to do. So essentially, as I said, I'm Head of Careers and Employability at the university. We've got a very active, very dynamic career service at Liverpool. And we're very high profile. We do lots of research into the changing job market. Of course, the big story about graduate jobs is that since 2007-2008, the world has shifted dramatically. We now talk about employability BC, before the crunch, and employability AD, after the downturn. Things have changed quite dramatically. And to help our students as much as possible in the job market, we've recently produced a new employability strategy, again, which I'm going to talk about this evening. So hopefully you'll get lots of information about this. I write for a range of different newspapers, and we do lots of work with the media in the UK, and lots of work that we focus on is trying to get a gauge of what's happening in the job market itself. As you know, the media are very interested to run stories about graduate jobs, but what's it really like out there? Research came out fairly recently by High Flyers Research, a London-based research firm, and they contacted lots of leading graduate recruiters to try and get a sense of what's happening in the job market. And the top headline story, in a sense, is that leading recruiters are actually increasing recruitment by just over 6% this year. So they're actually saying we're going to be taking on more graduates than we have done for the last couple of years. As you can see with the top stat here, vacancies have been down significantly over the past few years, but we are beginning to see a slight turnaround. Engineering, IT, retail, banking, all those sectors are beginning to register growth. So it is a good news story. It's a cautious good news story, but certainly the graduate job market is beginning to turn around, and hopefully we're going to see growth again in the next couple of years. There is an exception though. The public sector remains a big exception. Traditionally, UK graduates, the public sector has been one of the biggest sectors recruiting graduates from universities in this country. Of course, with the cuts, the austerity measures, public sector is still down on previous years in recruitment. But the good news, again, third point here, half of employers polled expect to recruit more graduates this year than in the previous 2 or 3 years. From our own point of view at Liverpool, we're noticing that we actually have more vacancies on our website this year than we've had since before the credit crunch. So despite all the doom and gloom stories that you might be picking up in the media, certainly we're noticing that vacancies are buoyant and they're beginning to come back to pre-credit crunch levels. The fourth point though here I think is quite interesting. A third of this year's entry-level jobs to be filled by graduates are only available to those who've had relevant work experience placements with those organisations. This is a big swing. Suddenly work experience, relevant work experience with organisations is becoming more important than ever before. So what we try and encourage our students to do is, while they're here, to gain work experience with some of the big recruiters, because obviously, as you can see from the data, it's not just a useful way of gaining skills and employability experience, but it also can lead to a graduate job. And for 50% of leading recruiters, no relevant work experience, no job. So suddenly things are becoming far more complicated. The idea of the war for talent, which I'll explain as we go along, I think is even more important than ever before. So things are changing. On the whole, the picture's starting to get better. It's starting to pull out of recession in terms of the graduate job market. But experience, relevant work experience, is more important now than ever before.